When I was 11 years old, my mother died. Then I started to look after my two siblings, and our lives were turned upside down. Ever since my mother died, I've been very sad. I grew up and married, and then I started having children, and my life kept getting worse. The problem was that when my husband got sick, I started to drink.
There was a way she found to forget about her problems, but the truth is, this created even more problems.
I would go to work drunk. I drank at work and everywhere else. My breakfast was a glass of wine. I would drink alcoholic drinks, strong drinks. I would get happy and all, but after that, when the high was over, all my problems would come back. Then my husband died, and I was left with our 5 children to raise.
She became very depressed, and there was a time when she was very sick. She didn't want treatment because, well, she couldn't pay for it. 5 children to raise, can you imagine?
My children started getting married. They went their way, and I was left alone.
She started isolating herself. She wouldn't come to visit us. She wouldn't go anywhere. She'd go straight home from work. When she went to work, she'd bring wine with her.
I smoked for 30 years. If I looked back and asked myself, was I happy? No.
She never was. Not even when she was a child, not when she was married, even as a widow, she got even worse. She suffered for 40 years.
In 2000, Elena discovered Dr. Soares on TV.
I turned on the TV one day and I started to watch Dr. Soares. Then and his words began to enter my heart, and I realized that everything I was doing was wrong.
From the moment she found his shows on TV, she never stopped watching them again.
When he talked about the sponsorship, I was very reluctant. But then I thought, I'm going to sponsor my life for my life to get better. That's when my life started getting better. I spent a year looking for the Grace of God Church. And I'd walk in front of it every day in Carmel, but I never noticed it. I only saw it after a year.
She was so distressed, she didn't even see the church. But she kept insisting until she found the place she wanted to go.
After I started going to church, it didn't take just a few days. It took several years for me to be able to stop smoking, to stop drinking. I would take the Lord's Supper and I'd come home and drink. Then one day it was the Lord's Supper. I was watching the show before going to church when I looked at the TV and I said, "Oh God, if you are using this man to speak to me now, then I want you to clean my life. From today on, I don't want to smoke or drink anymore." And I went to church. When I came home, I stopped drinking and smoking cigarettes. I just quit everything.
This happened in 2005. Ever since then, sadness is no longer a part of Elena's life.
Now I have joy, I make jokes, I play with my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Today my life is a blessing. It's like this. Thank God I get along with my children. We live in the peace of the Lord.
I'm very happy now to have her back because she's come back to us. Now she's a blessing of God. She's truly happy. The nightmare's over. In Jesus' name, and the show she's watched that brought her closer to God. Because if it hadn't been for the word that she heard, she might not be here. The show was very important for her.
God did everything in my life. What no one else could do, only God. I'm happy. I'm very happy with God.
Glory to God. This is so beautiful. Hey, folks.